Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Living Free. This is going to be part two with Katrina Young in regards to our journeys with infertility, the surrender and the waiting. And we want to pick up right where we left off, which is the waiting, some of the lessons that we've learned. And then we're going to dive into some of the darndest things that people said that maybe they should not have. And we just want to be super honest with you because this is real, and people say these things all of the time, and I just want to caution you that if you have a friend that's battling infertility or having miscarriages, these are the things not to say. But Katrina, let's pick back up in the waiting. Let's just recap. I'll let you get started with that. Let's recap. What are some of the valuable lessons of the waiting? What is the waiting?
So in the waiting, I think we have many waiting periods, waiting rooms of our life that we go through. Whether you're waiting for a spouse, waiting on a baby, waiting on a test result, even when you go to the doctor. So we're going to always have these waiting rooms of life where we can either decide to partner with Him and allow Him to bring peace into our life during that waiting and grow that relationship with Him in the waiting, or we will be like I was in the beginning stages of wanting a baby and in that waiting room of life wanting a baby. I first started out with I'm in control and I know exactly what I need. And that was that was a painful time whenever I was not seeing the blessing. Almost now I see it as a blessing to have a waiting time frame that you can then go, okay, step back, let's look at this. Am I going to live during this time frame, or am I going to just survive it? And I feel like when I was doing it in my own strength and in my own power, I was just surviving my infertility journey.
Wow.
Now I know that I'm not just surviving any of these because I learned through that journey, but you can rest in Him in the
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
And there's nothing about really surviving. So the waiting period is not a waste of time
Hmm.
if you're walking that waiting period with Him.
Yeah. That's so good. I love that. Yeah, it is a season of preparation. It is a season of pressing deeper into Him. There's so much that happens in that waiting that we have a hard time maybe quantifying. Like it's hard to measure everything that the Lord does in us through the waiting. And, it's not the destination that molds us and shapes us into who we become. It's the journey, right? The gold is not found in the destination. The gold is found along the way. The valuable lessons, these types of trials, they forge something inside of us. Like they help mold who you are and grow your faith and all of those things. So it's actually a really, really valuable season. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so, okay, so let's dive into something that might be a little more lighthearted, but honestly, it's lighthearted now. We can laugh about it now, but at
Yes.
the time, this was not what we wanted to hear. It wasn't helpful. It wasn't encouraging. So okay, I'll start. I'll share a couple and I'll let you share a couple. But okay, so when I had my miscarriage 5 years into our battle with infertility. This is the miscarriage that had landed me in emergency surgery that ultimately revealed the diagnosis, it revealed what was going on inside of my body. And so the very thing that was preventing us from conception and full-term pregnancy. So anyway, fast forward, this happens. I've lost this baby. And I can't tell you how many people, I mean, first of all, most people don't say anything. They almost avoid you like the plague because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And then I had the few people that were bold enough to say something, but unfortunately, they would say things like, well, there must have been something wrong with the baby. That's number one. And I'm like, first of all, you don't know that.
Right.
Right.
Oh, you don't.
And And having gone through what I went through and recognizing that there was actually nothing wrong with the baby, there was something very wrong with my body and my health that was preventing the baby from growing and flourishing in my body. So I was like, actually, there was nothing wrong with the baby, but there was all kinds of things wrong with me, right? So saying, oh, there must have been something wrong with the baby. Like your body just knew that there was something genetically wrong. So that's why it, aborted the pregnancy. It's like, no, you don't know that. And that's not helpful. That's not encouraging. That actually just kind of adds to the narrative that women struggling with infertility already have, that our bodies are broken, our bodies are not functioning the way that they should, the way that we're created to. We already have a lot of shame around that, and so to hear there's something wrong with the baby, totally unhelpful. Plus, you really don't know that. The other thing that I heard was, well, at least it happened in the first trimester. Oh, well, thank you. That makes me feel so much better. I'm so
Right.
glad it happened in the first trimester, because I didn't already wait 5 years for a pregnancy. I didn't already have dreams about this baby. I didn't already fall in love with the baby. You're right. It's a good thing it happened in the first trimester. Like,
Yeah. Like, why would anyone even say that? Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there you go. Is it, say those things, because it doesn't help. It's not helpful. The woman that just lost her baby desired her baby. She longed for this baby. She already had
Right.
dreams around the baby. Like, no, that's not helpful at all. So, Katrina,
Yeah.
you go share some of the darndest things.
Yeah. You already have the plans. I mean, you already know what you're going to be doing. And I mean, you've already made these plans with that extra member of the family that's coming, So yeah, I just, yeah, it is so tough. Um, I think, and I'm going to talk about this because this happened whenever I went through the miscarriage. So, one of the stories that really out of the mouth of babes is almost comforting compared to some of the adults in my life and what they said to me. And at school, I was in the hallway one day, and one of the students said, Mrs. Young, I don't know if this is going to make you feel better or make you feel worse, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to know. But, anyways, she said, I just wanted you to know that my grandma, she had 8 miscarriages, but she had three that are, my one of them's my mom and my aunt and uncle. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my brain at that point, I mean, it was just so cute because she cared about me, and that's what I think was the big thing
It's trying to
during.
encourage you, but it came with
Right.
a lot of loss.
Yeah, it was like a mixed message. But what I appreciated is that she prefaced it with, and was just almost like being vulnerable and honest and wanting to say, I don't know if this is going to help. I don't know if it's not, but I just wanted you to know that someone did have success. My grandma had success. She had three, but in the midst of it, she had 8 miscarriages. And so but it was good. It was good to know that she cared. And I think around that time, other adults had not really been saying a whole lot. So I think at that point, I was like, I took it as a blessing and that she really did care.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yes,
That's almost so much more refreshing, to say something just that's raw and real than try to
right.
come up with reasons why it didn't work out. And now,
Yeah,
I believe that the people that said those things to me, well, maybe there's something wrong with the baby. That's your body's way of knowing there's something wrong with the baby. Or what's a good thing it happened in the first miscarriage or whatever. I believe that they meant well, in their limited understanding. And I apologize, everyone, if you're hearing the dings that are coming through. My phone is blowing up right now, and it's coming to my computer. But anyways, let's keep rolling. But they meant well. I know that they meant well
right.
in their limited understanding. They were trying to connect and comfort me, but it was not comforting at all. Actually, quite the opposite. So, um, but yeah, I will say I knew that they meant well. And gosh, I'm trying to think of other crazy things that I heard. Can you think of something right now? What was something else that you heard?
Yeah, I think for me, it was going to church should have been my place that felt really good. but it almost became a time frame when it was really hard to walk in and watch people carrying their little babies in their little car seats, and and the little toddlers walking next to them. That became difficult at times, when especially right after a miscarriage, or if you had just gone through a treatment and it failed and didn't work. Those were the difficult times. But I do remember one time, and it's when we're all in that age, and you're in a life group in your church, and you're sitting there, and and everybody's doing their prayer requests, and this one couple, she was talking, and she said, "You guys, you're not going to believe it, but we really need prayer. um, we are pregnant with number 4, and we don't know what to think. We don't know what to think. We weren't planning for another one, and and I'm just like sitting there, wanting to walk out, just bawling, because I just wanted to walk over and say, this child is a gift from the Lord. This is a blessing. And you're talking like you're mourning, like we're asking for prayer requests for a death. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is just, it was just too much at that
There's
point.
there's an additional child that we weren't expecting. It wasn't in our plans. OMG, I don't know what to do. Please pray for us. It's like, really? Like,
Right.
I mean, you already have 3. What's one more? So,
I know. I thought, oh my goodness.
oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
it was just that kind of, that
Yeah.
people just don't realize even how they're sounding.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I had to learn to not take it personally.
Yeah, because they
You
didn't
know,
mean it personally. They literally
no,
just didn't know what to do with themselves having an extra child that they didn't plan, right? And it's like, oh,
right,
you just figured out that you're not in control.
right,
Right?
right. And that is what happens. Yes. I
Yes.
mean,
I just remembered one that triggered a memory. We were so when we first got married, we'd go to our family reunions we had family reunions on both sides of the family, but on my husband's side of the family. And every year from the moment we got married was, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have babies? La, 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 like this, you just got married and they want you to start popping out babies like immediately, right? And then over the course of time, over the years, those questions changed to, do you guys not want to have kids? Do you guys not want to have children? And it was like a dagger to the heart, because they didn't know that we longed to have a family. We wanted to have children. By gosh, we've been trying. There wasn't a lack of trying,
right. Oh
My
yeah,
husband,
no.
my husband felt like a piece of meat. You know what I mean? So to hear the question, do you guys not want to have kids? Oh, that was
Oh yes.
so heartbreaking. And then having to explain to them, like, no, we do. We're just struggling with infertility, and people not knowing what to say. And I feel like if you're in that position, you have a friend that just went through loss, miscarriage, and or just they haven't even conceived. They've just been battling infertility for months, years, etc. What the best thing that I feel someone could have done for me, instead of trying to find some answer, some solution or whatever as to why this was happening, the best thing someone could have done for me is just said, I love you. This sucks. And I'm praying
Yes.
for you. Like, just acknowledging that the situation is not fun. In terms of infertility, it was like, I wish I would have heard more of, I'm sorry that you're going through this. I know this is hard. I know that this sucks, but I want you to know that I love you and I'm praying for you. And if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Right. And then with the miscarriages, I wish someone would have said, I'm so sorry for your loss. My deepest condolences. My heart goes out to you. I don't know what to say, but I want you to know that I'm praying for you. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to make up something, right?
Right.
Just showing them that that you see them. They want to feel seen. They want to feel loved. They want to know that there are people that are for them. You don't need to try and come up with some reason why it's not working out for them. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that is true. I think it's just acknowledging, um, like you said, and even to add to that, just offering, if you need it, to me to lend an ear and just hear, and it would have been nice just to have somebody to be able to share the pain with, but that they didn't feel like they had to have answers for me, but just hear what I'm going through.
Yes,
Um,
that's so
you-
key because you feel like you're alone. And I know that some of you who are watching, you're listening to this and you're going down the same path, you feel alone and you don't know who to talk to, partly because there's a part of you that feels shame and condemnation around the fact that your body is not functioning the way you want it to function. And so there's shame around that because you were created to birth children and this isn't happening, right? And then also because you feel like they don't understand. If they haven't walked down this road, like I don't even know how to share with them because of dumb people, well, not dumb people that mean well, that say dumb things. Right. So you're
yeah,
afraid. It's like you're afraid to share because you're afraid that they're gonna say dumb things, right?
you're right.
And I think in those instances, finding the people that you're closest to and saying, listen, I don't need you to try and come up with reasons or answers or try to solve my problem. I just need you to be there. And would you just let me process? And will you just love me and pray for me through it? Like that's
Yes, and
just that
vent,
support. Mhm.
vent my pain at times.
Yes.
I mean, you need that just to be real. So yeah, I agree. I think it's someone to process with is big. And that just feels like, I mean, that's how I would have felt love going through all of that.
Hey, so everybody that's watching right now, I just want you to know that the little noisemaker that you hear in the background is that child that I prayed for and longed for. And so thank you, Jesus, for my little noisemaker.
Yes, I love that you have a little noisemaker. It's such a
Oh
blessed
my
time.
gosh. I'm like, I am trying to record an interview and I'm not cutting this out, guys. This is raw and real as it gets.
This is yeah,
I feel like yeah, now that we're in that space of needing the moral support, needing somebody who is just there as a hearing ear to love you, to pray for you, this is a really great time to segue into if you are listening right now and you maybe don't have a circle of friends that you could go to. If you literally feel like, I don't know who to go to for prayer, I don't have prayer support around me, then Katrina and I will pray for you. Like, I want you to know that we will pray for you. We want to see God's best fulfilled in your life. We want to see you experience the desires of your life, right? So, hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. And that's where we were at one point in our journeys. Our heart was sick. Like, I was like Hannah in scripture, just in anguish,
yeah.
so much in anguish that you remember the priest Eli thought that she was drunk because he couldn't make out the words that were coming out of her mouth. Like that's how much anguish she had. And that's what happens when hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. But then the second part of that scripture is, but a promise fulfilled is a tree of life. And so we want to agree with you in prayer. We want to contend with you in prayer, just to partner with you in prayer to see that promise fulfilled. And however the Lord wants to fulfill it, now hear me. Yes, of course. I feel like most of us, when we desire children, we want to be able to carry them and birth them, and that will happen for a lot of you. However, there are some that the Lord's desire for you is to adopt 5 children, 10 children, whatever, like
Right.
just be open to the fact that you're not in control, right? Surrender, embrace the waiting. Let this be a time of preparation in your heart. And then just trust the Lord to bring this desire of motherhood to come to pass in his perfect timing and in the way that he desires it to happen in your life, and that you will be a mama. You are going to be a mama. And so we want to pray for you. We'd love for you to, comment and just say, me, pray for me. Give us your name. We'll pray for you. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, on a public forum like this in the comments, then you can message us. You can find us on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. Just look us up by name. You'll find us. And in the description of this video, you'll see the way to connect to us. and message us and say, I watched your video and I'm wrestling with infertility and this is really heart-wrenching. Would you please pray for me? This can also be really difficult on a marriage. It can be very weighty on your relationship. And so we want to pray for your marriage in the midst of this. So anyways, the point is we want to pray for you. So let us know if you want us to partner with you in prayer, and we will. So anything else that we could share? Any other things that people say that maybe they shouldn't, or anything else?
No, I guess I was just thinking, I think everybody in life, and I think I remember this going through the my infertility. I thought everybody understands cancer
Mhm.
because it has touched every person's life. And so I think that is part of why we feel like we're just out here and don't have anyone to really, you
Mhm.
know,
To really relate or understand.
relate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's why, and then you just kind of even isolate more. And that's not what you need during this, but you isolate, and then it just spirals you down to where
Yes.
you don't, like you said, you don't feel like you have hope. But
Yeah.
there is hope. And as you were talking about the marriage, there, if you kind of like flip it and do a 180 and realize this is my only time after you've gotten married to even have just the two of you. But I didn't see it like that. But if you just flip it and see the positive, why don't we just spend entire, these years while we're in the wait, getting to know each other better, building our relationship with the Lord together. I think that is what is beautiful about changing that over and not thinking of it as this, I just, we can't get what we want, but
Yeah.
realize and enjoy the blessings right in front of us. And that's that
Exactly.
time that you'll never really have
Yeah.
early marriage to spend with each other and just have fun. But also the pain too is whenever you're going through all of this and you're having to time out when have sex and when you do all of this, and then check in to see what, if it's the perfect time with the thermometer and all of that. I mean, it becomes so mechanical. But try and even turn that around and laugh and have fun with it, and laugh about what we're having to do instead of getting so stressed that I mean, because then in the stress, you're not going to get
I
pregnant
was
either.
going to say the same thing. I mean, stress in and of itself releases toxic burden. Stress is going to
Yes.
keep you from getting pregnant. It's just, you just need to chill out. No, but it's not, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I say that now, of course, because I was so uptight about it. And I had my husband on clockwork. Like I said,
I
he was
know.
me. But honestly, it just goes back to the full surrender. It goes back to, okay, you know what? I'm not in control. I recognize and acknowledge that I am not
Right.
in control. Lord, I surrender this to you. I surrender my womb. I surrender my fertility to you. I surrender to your timing. And I just ask you to help me see the very blessings that are in my life right now. What do you want us to do right now? What should we
Right.
focus on in this season? Oh, you want us to go on mission trips? Oh, you want us to whatever, start a business? You want us to whatever it is, right? Travel,
Right.
etc. Like, what is it that you have for us in this season? And let us rejoice in that. Let us embrace this season. And part of my journey was also the Lord, after that miscarriage in 2012, where I got my diagnosis. The Lord sent me on a health journey. He invited me into a partnership with his very promise. He said, I'm going to do the thing I said I'm going to do. I need you to steward your health and prepare your body for conception and full-term pregnancy. So there was an invitation, to partner with that word. And in the season of the waiting, there was still a responsibility on my part to steward my health. But yet, again, full surrender, doing my part without trying to control, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. Like, just take care of yourself, but don't try to grab the reins again. Release them, let go, and let God.
Right. And that's the praying part, is turning it over to him.
Mhm.
But it really does. What you just said is the preparation. We are responsible for the preparation and planning what is going to be best to carry a baby. So that's what you were talking about, and that is our responsibility. And
But
so,
ultimately, he's the one who, in his timing, it'll
right,
happen. So just
right.
trusting his timing is a really hard thing, especially when you're like us, when we are planners and we like to have our plans, But typically for people like us, the Lord's like, well, let me mess with your plans
Yeah,
because I need you to stop trusting in your own ability and I need you to trust in me, in
right.
in his ability. So anyways, I just hope that this has blessed and encouraged
Yes.
you and maybe even had you laugh for a bit if you've heard some of those things as you've gone through this journey alongside of us. Any final thoughts, any final comments that you want to share for our viewers as we close?
Just, I would just say, start learning how to live in the wait, resting in Him. You don't have to survive this, and you sure don't have to do it alone.
Amen. That's a great ending. Thank you so much for Katrina for co-laboring with me in these interviews and just putting our messages out there. I believe they're going to encourage a lot of women and men because I do have to say infertility is a battle that is not only associated with women. I think that most people think of it as a women problem, but it's actually 50-50. I don't know if people actually know that it's 50-50. So anyways, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. You can drop them in the comments. If you need help detoxifying your life, because I have to tell you, in your responsibility to steward your health, if this is something you're struggling with, you got PMS or PCOS, endometriosis, unexplained infertility, whatever it is, you need to also steward your health. And part of that is going to be eliminating toxic burden from your body because there is so much of the things that we use on a regular daily basis that disrupts your endocrine system, disrupts your hormones, and can ultimately really, really mess up your fertility. So if you've got questions about that, that's something that I can help with. And so just reach out. Thank you so much, Katrina. I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Thanks to our viewers. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.